Alright, so in this video I'm going to talk about 2 tips that Naval shares on how to read more. So it's pretty self-intuitive that reading is really good for you. It's very beneficial. And I think the main thing that people struggle with is that they don't read enough. And so there are 2 tips on reading more. The first one is read what you like. So that's the first tip that Naval gives. And he says just read what you enjoy, right? Like if it's science fiction, read that. If it's business books, read that. If it's graphic novels, whatever it is, just read what you enjoy and don't feel any guilt. Don't feel any shame or any negative emotions. Just read what you actually like to read. So that's the first tip that Naval gives, and I've actually implemented this myself. So right now what I'm really interested in is technology and early stage investing. So what I've been reading is 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. I've been reading Venture Capital by Brad Feld. I think it's called Venture Deals, actually. I just started that one yesterday. And yeah, I've just been reading what interests me. That's the first tip. The second tip is don't feel pressure to finish books that you don't want to read. So it's kind of similar to the first tip, but don't feel the obligation to finish a book just because you started it, right? Feel free to start in the middle of a book, on a chapter that really interests you, and then maybe you'll read a few pages and then you want to move on to something else. That's completely fine. So the point is, you don't have to finish a book that you start. You don't have to finish a chapter. You can read a few pages of any book, and if it interests you and you're actually enjoying it, then that's all that matters, right? So those 2 tips are what Naval, those tips are taken from Naval, and they've really helped me. So now I feel very liberated. I don't need to, just start a book and then have that feeling that we all know of having to finish it, right? Of forcing yourself to finish it. So try those 2 tips out and read more books.